It's always a sad thing when something original comes along, and thanks to stupid decisions by the creators, whatever potential the new thing on the market had was destroyed before it had a chance to really shine. With games, we've seen this happen with titles like Anthem and arguably Black Ops 4, just to name a few. But now we've started to see a number of these games address the problems that plagued them and undo their mediocrity and become something worthwhile. And the title that can be added to this list is Behaviour Interactive's Deathgarden Bloodharvest. Taking place in a post-apocalyptic world, Deathgarden is an asymmetrical multiplayer game where a team of 5 traverse a map, collecting blood as part of a trial by fire to prove who's worthy of joining the elite, while a solo player acts as a hunter, hunting down the scavengers and impeding their progress. Both sides play radically different to one another and demand different playstyles. The scavengers are played from a third-person perspective and are extremely agile, being able to pull off limited parkour to traverse the map. Unlike the hunters, scavengers have no method of fighting, so they have to rely on stealth and speed to escape. Whereas, when playing as a hunter, it plays more like a traditional FPS, and you have to organically search the map for the scavengers and deny them resources to make them easier prey. Playing as a scavenger is always a nerve-wracking experience right out of the dev's other game, Dead by Daylight, while playing as a hunter is very methodical, demanding strategy and thought from the hunter, making it all the more satisfying when you land an execution. Both the hunters and the scavengers have their own separate progression, based on a per-character basis. Each scavenger has their own special abilities and perks to help tailor them to different strategies. The starting scavenger, for instance, has a smoke screen which is very useful for losing the hunter in tight spaces, while another can create a digital clone to mislead the hunter in a pinch. Whereas the 3 current hunters feel like loadouts lifted out of another game, with the stalker focusing on precision while the poacher is all about spray and pray, and the Inquisitor is a nice middle ground. However, the game is well balanced, so no player ever has an indirect edge over the others, something that's reinforced by the 2-perk limit and the sides complementing each other with their own same core stats. Whatever advantage one side can have over another is really down to individual skill from the players, so win or lose, every game feels just as satisfying as the one before it. Before each match, a map is randomly selected and generated in a manner reminiscent of the Hunger Games, which I will admit always looks awesome. Then the scavengers jump into it with an 18-second head start to get the lay of the land before the hunter dives in. While the scavengers don't have weapons, they do have something else, a crossbow. This lets the players mark out resources and blood deposit sites to the other scavengers for a limited time. Functionally, it's a lot like the Apex Legends ping system, so even if you're steering clear of other scavengers, you're passively working together as a team. Hunters, on the other hand, have ways of catching all types of scavengers off guard. They share a taser attack to stun scavengers and a sprint ability to literally run across the map in seconds. And on top of that, each hunter has a unique special ability tailored to their respective playstyle, so with a little thought, using these can tip the game in the hunter's favour. The maps as well are distinctive, though limited in number, with only around 3 or 4 in rotation, which I would imagine would give the more senior players an experience advantage over newcomers through memorization. Doubly so for the hunters, since a big part of playing as them involves activating drones to reveal scavengers, and it doesn't take long for an experienced hunter to prioritize certain drones and pigeonhole the scavengers. And from there, almost the entire map is lit up with these things. But even then, the scavengers can reach their goal if they make the most of their abilities and stay quick on their feet, thus keeping things fair.
4 scavengers remain.
Deathgarden also features some stellar sound design lifted right out of Overwatch, where listening for the right audio cues can create a do-or-die situation. Specifically, when a hunter is near, heavy chase music will build up by proximity until it's blaring, and depending on what side you're on, the music will either make you feel like a blonde bimbo in a slasher movie, or like an adrenaline junkie skydiving. However, now would be a good time to bring up the game's technical stability, and I should make one thing clear. The game is in early access. For the most part, the game ran butter smooth for me, aside from my ill-fated attempt to stream it to Mixer. The only time it did let me down was the 2 or 3 times where it crashed, and that was out of 6 hours I played for this review. And it wasn't enough to sour my impressions of the game, but that's just me. If I had to summarize Deathgarden with a quote, it would be what Yancey said about Team Fortress 2 when it first came out. There isn't a whole lot there, but what little there is has been polished to a mirror's shine, and that describes it to a T. If you've been thinking about getting Deathgarden, I wholeheartedly recommend doing so. What's there is fantastic and can only get better in time, ever since its soft relaunch as Bloodharvest, and gives us an example of early access done right.
You escaped the Deathgarden.
Alright, thanks for checking this video out. I appreciate it. You are an awesome person, and I hope you liked it enough to also subscribe. For the next game review, I'm going to be taking a look at the adventure game Unlucky 7, and for movie reviews, I've currently got in the pipeline a review of the all-new Shaft, and I've got one planned for the all-new Pet Cemetery. I've been looking forward to that for a very long time now. I've got all that and more coming up, so please stick around.